I've seen a lot of people making stained glass dice out of 3D printed copper or brass and colored UV resin, but I've heard that you can do a poor man's version of it with just some colored Sharpie, and so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna use my shell dice molds that I got from Dicey Encounters, which he sells by the way, and I'll put that down in the link below. The inside of these shell molds have absolutely no numbers on them, they're just blank shapes, which makes it perfect for doing this technique. So I'm gonna go ahead and glove up because we can jump right into just making some clear resin. I'm gonna use Envirotex light resin. It's one of my favorite resins. It's a 1-to-1 mixture by volume resin, and so I just mix up equal parts of part A and part B for about 5 minutes until there's no more streaks. And to that resin, I'm going to add about 4 drops of liquid glitter. It might as well be called liquid pretty because adding it to any resin project will immediately just make it shiny with all the tiny little specks of glitter it adds. It's the closest thing to a secret ingredient that I have to my resin work. I'm going to put some wax paper down onto the table to not make a mess, and I'm going to pretend like I did this cool camera trick where it pans from focus up to the resin and then back down into the mold, and it wasn't just my camera being weird because I really like how that shot looked. I fill up the entirety of the mold and overfill it with resin because I have extra, and that just makes sure that I will have a less likely chance of getting gaps or voids. Then I go over the top with a pass of a lighter to pop any surface bubbles that I can find and put the top of the lid onto the bottom half of the mold. Pressing firmly down on the top, it'll squeeze out any of that excess resin so you don't have to worry about that, and I kind of shimmy it into place to make sure it's all locked and ready to go inside the pressure pot, where it will sit for at least 24 hours to be fully cured at 40 psi. I left mine for 2 weeks because I had family stuff happen, and so this is what it looks like after 2 weeks. Pretty much the same as 24 hours, so if you ever have to step away from a project, you can always come back to it. With the resin fully cured, it is looking mighty fine. You can see all the shininess on the inside, which I think will play really well with the colors that we're going to add. I probably could sand this up to make it even smoother, but a little bit of roughness will probably help some of the Sharpie to stick to the resin. Speaking of Sharpies, I found a multicolored pack for like $8, and so this truly is an easy poor man's way of doing this. That's a good looking thumbnail right there, by the way. So when I had this technique described to me, I was told that you need to make a frame with black or gold marker around the edges of all of your dice, and so I started doing that. Basically, you just take your marker and go around every single edge on the shapes that you're going to make your own stained glass version out of. I found in the end that you do not need to do this, so you can skip this step because wherever the colors meet on the edges, they kind of create their own little edge border anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and start coloring up all the surfaces with my various colored Sharpies. I pick 6 different colors, that way I have one for each side of the D6, and I just go to town. I start coloring over it with red Sharpie. It doesn't really stick or dry all terribly well because it's Sharpie on what is essentially plastic, and so it stays pretty wet for a long time. Oh well, this is supposed to be an easy poor man's version, right? And so I just let it sit there for a little bit. I tried to go back over the edges, but this is probably a step that you can skip entirely. After this one surface here, I didn't do it anymore in the future. It also was taking a while to dry, so I thought I'd try and speed that up with my wife's hairdryer. Obviously, I don't have a hairdryer, and as I aimed it down onto my plastic cutting mat surface, you can see it ballooned up a lot there, and so I don't recommend doing that if you have this surface, because I know a lot of people do. Again, I picked 6 colors, one for each side of a D6, and just kind of use them randomly throughout on all of the others. The D20 obviously has more than 6 sides, so I just kind of picked colors and placed them where I thought they were cool. I did red on all of the different dice first before I moved on to doing all of the different colors. It's surprisingly easy to stay within all of the edges. I thought that would be very difficult and that I would move off on the sides a lot, but it really is easy to just drag your marker along and it kind of naturally flows off of the edge for you. If you do happen to go over the edge, not a big deal. Whenever you use another Sharpie, it will kind of pick it up and move it for you as it re-wets. So after those dry, again using the hairdryer off of my plastic cutting mat, I went on to the next color using the blue, and you can already see, one, it looks like a cool 3D effect, but you can begin to see that stained glass color. Then I went on to add the light blue and the yellow effects, and you can see it looks like I'm coloring over the light blue side here, but because you can just see right through, the color kind of seeps up to the top. I was honestly tempted to just stop it right there. I thought they looked really cool and leaving some of them clear was awesome, but I want to go for a completely colored set just to see what it would look like. So then I add the green. Again, I'm doing it on a clear side, but it looks blue because you can see so well through. And then I added purple, the final color. Again, very hard to tell that I'm doing it on a clear side, but I promise that I am, and it will look very cool and individual here in just a second because man, don't those already look really awesome? Don't those look fantastic? They look like Jolly Ranchers because the color's kind of uneven by using a Sharpie. There's some spots where it's a little darker, some spots where it's a little lighter. You could definitely do this a billion different ways. Paint would be hard unless it's transparent because you just couldn't see through, and surprisingly, Sharpie is transparent. I wouldn't have thought that, but hey, here we are and it's working. You can see this really cool almost kaleidoscope of colors beneath the D20 as I rotate it over a white plate here. I think that's just awesome and a very good example of the stained glass look and style that we're going for. It almost feels like it's real glass, right? So now we can move on to mixing up the outer shell. We have to have the outer shell for two reasons. One, you could easily scratch off the Sharpie on the surface, and two, we don't have any numbers. This outer shell actually has the numbers that we can put onto the dice. You could definitely just make regular dice and coat it in some sort of coating, but I have shell dice and I like using them, and so I'm going to go ahead and use my shell dice molds. And you know the drill, this ain't our first time using shell dice molds. I fill it up about halfway with resin and then put the inserts or just basic shapes inside of them. Putting the resin in there first, make sure that we're not going to have any bubbles trapped in any of the corners down on the bottom, and it's just far easier to work with, though it is incredibly messy, so make sure you're wearing gloves and have wax paper underneath. One thing that you should know is when I was trying to put my D12 in here, you can see I had to take it out and redo it because it wasn't oriented properly, and when I did that, I noticed some of the color was leaking. Turns out when you use resin on the Sharpie, it will kind of re-wet it and allow it to move around. So I would say try and put this in the place you want it to be and then just leave it. If you feel like it's slightly off, it's better to leave it than try and go back and fix it because handling it too much might rub some of the Sharpie off. After that was done, I left it in the pressure pot for 24 hours and we have some fantastic looking stained glass dice. I honestly was super shocked when these came out. I was so happy with how pretty they were. I'm very, very afraid to ink them and ruin them. There's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up and fixed on them. They didn't turn out all that well as far as needing some sanding, but that's okay. That's super easy to fix. The colors is what I was impressed with. This really truly does feel like some sort of glass bauble in my hand more than it does dice. I think they're absolutely gorgeous, so much so I even started taking some glamour shots just in case I messed them up whenever I did the inking or the polishing because they were so good I didn't want to ruin them and have to redo it because they're just so pretty. You can see here where some of the color came off on that D12 that I was talking about earlier. Doesn't bother me, but if it bothers you, you probably want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. So it's time to clean these up, and that just involves some sanding. I set down a flat glass pane so that I have a smooth surface to sand on and use Zona papers for polishing. It's essentially very, very high grit sandpaper, and so when I'm done, they will look like glass themselves, which is fantastic because they're supposed to look like stained glass. But then I have to ink them, and if I'm gonna mess them up with inking, I want to do it in gold, baby. The best color of all time. It has the highest chance of looking good with the stained glass, I think, though I thought black might work too. As usual, all I do is paint in the numbers and wipe away the excess with my finger, and they're good to go. I'm so thankful to all of my friends that shared how to do this skill with me on making stained glass. And by the way, did somebody say Skillshare?
Quit lying on the internet. You know you don't have any friends.
Who are you and how'd you get into my room? Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you haven't heard of Skillshare before, they're an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for pretty much anyone. Got a specific skill you're trying to learn? Skillshare is a great place to start for that. They got things like photography, illustration, graphic design, learn how to do stained glass, learn how to do digital stained glass. I didn't know that was a thing until I looked on Skillshare. I got into it because it's ad-free and I really like to learn things from people who are both passionate and very good at what they do. I like it when people explain things to me, and that's why I do that, because I think that's cool. I thought this one class called Procreate Trends, where you can learn to illustrate with stained glass by Simone Sloan, which is an awesome superhero name, by the way. Somebody should definitely do that. I thought that was really cool. I didn't even know you could do that in Procreate. I also think a lot of the art classes they have on there show really cool techniques that I could transfer over into dice making, so I just like to look and see what they have on there. And so why don't you help me and I'll help you, because the first 1,000 people to use the link or my code in the description below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring the video. Now, I don't know if you all are ready for how good these dice are going to look, but I'm going to do it anyway. Wha-bam. Holy crap, these are easily my favorite dice that I've ever made. I say that on almost every video, but this one is with some retrospective look back in mind, and man, I'm just really pleased with these. I don't know how to say it. In person, they look 10 times better than on the camera, and on the camera, they look really freaking good. I love how every time I pick them up, they look a little bit different because the light hits them in just a different different way or a different number happens to be facing upwards, they just look awesome. They've got little squiggly bits from where I had to clean them up with a paper towel, but other than that, they are pristine and so good looking. The only thing that I wish was different is I wish that they sounded like stained glass when I rolled them as well, but you can't have everything. You know, I had to roll it to see if I would get a crit or a fail first, and
No! Damn it.
now that may look like a nat 1, but the beauty of the stained glass is if I see through it, I can kind of see the nat 20, and so I would argue that I think I rolled a nat 20 there, and since I'm a DM, I'm just going to say that I did anyway. Anywho, I'm very pleased with these. Again, I think they're the prettiest set that I've ever made, and there's a lot that I would put in contenders for that, but this one just feels completely different. I know I'm not doing it the right way by using a kind of cornered brass insert that was 3D printed and then using colored UV resin and going all around and making it look perfect and hollow inside, but this is pretty darn good stained glass for me. I'm really happy with them, and I hope that other people try this technique too, because it's so dang easy, and a lot of people could have stained glass dice like this themselves if they just get themselves an $8 pack of Sharpies, and you're pretty much on your way. So these are some awesome glamour shots, so good you'll have to ignore me because I gotta take pictures of them for Instagram because they're just pretty, so you can go check them out there if you like. Thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe if you might want to see some more stuff like this in the future. Speaking of which, I hope a lot of people do this technique and make some really cool pride dice next month. Either way, I hope that you like the video. If you do, like the video. If not, dislike it. I'm okay with that too. Either way, I hope that you have a fantastic day.